5. Frame your outcome with family members and trusted advisors. The most important thing in communication is hearing what isn't said. Peter Drucker. In this chapter, we will explore ways in which you can create a family business legacy plan, and you will no longer be worried about losing money due to irresponsible choices. Based on my research and experience working with family business owners, it is advisable to frame your desired outcome with family members and advisors and to select a time frame to accomplish the desired outcome. The business owner, with the guidance of her advisors, needs to identify the family members who will contribute to the creation of the legacy plan that is equitable and fair for everyone involved, including family, non-family members, and other stakeholders. Knowing what negotiable versus non-negotiable considerations are critical and will provide a clear path when making critical decisions, because you may not be able to please everybody equally. While researching business owners and high net worth individuals for this book, many of my clients believe that a defined succession plan is an important successor factor of a family business legacy, and most importantly, a crucial factor to maintaining a good family atmosphere, maintaining the family unity, and avoiding disputes in which everyone loses. Some entrepreneurs may find it easy to allocate family and business assets, while others may find the process challenging. Here is an example of how a business owner and successful entrepreneur who lives in Brazil distributed the family business assets based on family dynamics. This entrepreneur has 2 daughters who are not interested and do not feel comfortable making investment decisions. On the other hand, his son, who is an economist, feels comfortable and enjoys making business and investment decisions. Since both daughters have a lot of confidence and admiration for their brother, the entrepreneur nominated his son to be his successor. It was a natural family decision. The family and business assets were fairly allocated, and all the family members accepted and were happy with the family estate plan legacy. A question that is often asked by entrepreneurs is how to identify the challenges and the opportunities for the various stakeholders, including clients, family members, and advisors. Here is another example of how you can train your sons and/or daughters for family succession. Charles, a Harvard Business School OPM 32 graduate and a very successful entrepreneur in Brazil, shared with me that a couple of years ago, after his son Felipe left a high-level position at a well-known international bank to become an entrepreneur, Charles provided his son Felipe with detailed business and financial information. They discussed the opportunities in depth before making any decisions. The entrepreneur's intention was threefold. 1. To train his son to be his successor. 2. To know his son better in a business environment. 3. To have his son learn how the entrepreneur thinks in a business environment. This entrepreneur also made his son his partner in new ventures, one at a time. His son earned ownership through sweat equity shares in 3 separate startups in which the entrepreneur was directly involved. Additionally, the entrepreneur was coaching his daughters, who were not interested in the business, and working with them on different projects of mutual interest. Those children who joined their parents' business to provide business continuity because of desire and skill set have been found to be strong performers and effective entrepreneurial leaders, and they are able to grow the business in sales and profitability. However, those who join their parents' business due to obligation would more probably not be as successful, and instead create family conflicts due to lack of interest and long-term resentment. Therefore, it is important for the family business owner to build mechanisms to develop and articulate the aspirations of each individual member to create a shared family dream, because the next generation members' dreams and aspirations may be different from those of the family enterprise. For example, Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world and the chairman, CEO, and president of Berkshire Hathaway, is known for not wanting to spoil his kids and encourages them to follow their passion and be the best they can be by pursuing their God-given talents. Claudio Fernandez Arauz, Executive Fellow at Harvard Business School, reminds us that carefully identifying and properly developing the next generation of leaders is by far the most consequential decision for any family business founder, owner, or leader. Most business owners consider only one person, will he or she make a great CEO, rather than thinking of many key family members and the multiple critical potential roles they can play. What's more, even among those leaders who want to conduct rigorous assessments of the entire next generation's capabilities, most don't know what they should focus on, and many wait until the 11th hour to ask the crucial questions. Claudio Fernandez Arauz advocates that business leaders need to embrace best practices for talent management, which inevitably require selectivity. Decisions should be based not on experience or even current competencies or abilities, but on the leadership potential of key family members. According to Claudio Fernandez Arauz, leadership requirements are changing at an unprecedented rate, so leaders must be able to adapt. Business owners should carefully and separately assess the 4 hallmarks of potential: curiosity, insight, engagement, and determination, to identify those individuals who will be better able to learn and grow and then work obsessively to retain, motivate, and develop them. The earlier you start the process, the better. Once you have identified the personal, individual potential of each of your next generation's most promising family members, the final step will be to candidly share this perspective with them in order to learn their motivation to fill various roles. Personal and family circumstances, as well as individual preferences and identity issues, will make some opt for a full-time executive job, while others might prefer the road to a more limited, yet still essential part-time contribution. Understanding how far each person can go in certain areas of the business and discovering which roles they are prepared and eager to play will drastically help you strengthen your family's bonds, which will help attract, retain, and develop the best leaders for the business from within and outside the family. Just as important, you will be giving your children the chance to live happier lives in which they become leaders and achieve impact and purpose in unique ways. As I was gathering information to write this book, I asked business owners if they were successful in creating and implementing a fair and equitable family business legacy plan. If so, what made it fair and equitable, and how did they feel about it? Most of them responded that although challenging, they had created a fair and equitable family business legacy plan and felt at peace with their decisions. One of the most notable responses came from Pablo, a Harvard Business School OPM 32 graduate and a successful entrepreneur in Argentina, who responded, "Each of my kids will inherit the same percentage of my wealth. In the future, they will need to decide if they continue to be partners or if they are going to split the wealth. I do not have nor do I want to have any control of this. I have always taught my children by example, business sense, ethics, and value. If that is not enough, I failed." Should you create your family business legacy plan yourself, or should you hire advisors to help you in the process? In my experience, most entrepreneurs who have successfully completed their family business legacy plan have worked with their trusted advisors. Although legacy plans may be similar, we know that there are not 2 family business succession plans that are equal, because they are highly personal and they vary based on the overall family dynamics. If it is not clear what the business owner wants, or if he never thought about succession planning, I strongly recommend that he hire a specialized advisor. A business owner should never put in place a succession plan without checking the implications of it with his family members, advisors, tax accountants, attorneys, and other important stakeholders. The great secret of business families that achieve tremendous wealth and hold on to it for generations is that they persistently promote the entrepreneurial spirit that led to their initial success. That drive, a combination of ambition, sheer will, and the willingness to take calculated risks, is integral to long-term success, particularly in challenging times. While there is no right path to creating a sustainable entrepreneurial drive, in business families, successful ventures do have common threads. They foster the right attitude in future generations by focusing on several core principles, such as sharing the hard reality of the business challenges, establishing mutual ground rules, supporting aspiring entrepreneurs who want to flourish on their own, and providing encouragement without micromanaging. In their article, "Is the next generation of your family business entrepreneurial enough?" Judy Lynn Walsh, Sam Brawl, and Nick DeLoretto note that these principles highlight how important it is to find the balance between offering wisdom and dictating how something must be done so that you stoke the next generation's entrepreneurial fire. No matter how great the founding idea or business is, it cannot last indefinitely. Business families need fresh infusions of entrepreneurial drive and passion to adapt to changing environments so they continue to thrive. And family business members need to test their mettle and be driven to succeed on their own for their sense of self-worth. In my experience, when creating a family business legacy plan, another strong motivator is to create a legacy plan that takes into consideration what the business owner wants or needs for income long term. For instance, if the owner decides to sell their business, figuring out the seller's desired income can be a good place to work back from when trusted advisors are determining how to best structure a tax-efficient sale. Sales can be structured with various types of trusts as parting gifts: stock sales versus asset sales, sales involving non-qualified deferred compensation, dividend policies, long-term leases, and consulting agreements. Another consideration is how much control or involvement the seller would like once the business is sold. In general, the seller is better off if the sale is a stock or ownership interest. Also, for tax purposes, the seller may want to sell the business in installments over time or gift part of the business to family members, both of which can reduce taxes. As always, there is a caveat on taxation, especially at the time of writing this book in March 2021. In the United States, President Biden's administration is proposing significant changes to estate planning suggested in the proposed new legislation entitled for the 99.5% Act. The act significantly reduces the federal estate and gift tax exemptions. It also eliminates, as early as the date of enactment, many of the estate planning techniques used by estate planners, while other provision changes would generally be effective as of December 31st, 2021. The estate tax exemption under the Act would move to $3,500,000, down from the current exemption of $11,700,000. The Act would also reduce the lifetime gift tax exemption to $1 million. Under the Act, the estate and gift tax rates, which are currently up to 40%, are also scheduled to increase to a range from 45% to 65%. If, for the 99.5% Act is enacted, it could cause significant changes in the approach to family legacy and estate planning. According to an article on estate and inheritance taxes around the world written by Alan Cole, and published in the Tax Foundation, the nation's leading independent tax policy, the United States is one of many countries that levies taxes on estates or inheritances. This report compares this aspect of the U.S. tax system to other countries around the world and examines recent worldwide trends in estate and inheritance taxes. The highest top estate tax rate to lineal heirs can be found in Japan at 55%. South Korea, 50%, and France, 45%, also have rates higher than the U.S. At the low end, 15 of the 35 countries in the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, have no taxes on property passed to lineal heirs. The average estate tax rate across the OECD is 15%, with a median tax rate of 7%. In summary, considering the higher estate exemption available as of June 2021 in the United States, and the ability to use some of the estate planning techniques that would be eliminated in the Act, now is the time to talk to your tax and trusted advisors to be sure you understand the tax and cash flow consequences of using your gift exemption during your life, while the higher exemptions are still available. Act now and start talking with your trusted advisors to create a family business legacy plan, and you will no longer be worried about losing money due to irresponsible choices.